Welcome to 2 News at Noon. State troopers say they were pleasantly surprised there weren't more problems today given the icy road conditions. But Pam Elliott discovered that fewer drivers actually made it easier on those who felt they had to actually travel today. What's going on out there, Pam?
Fewer drivers, yes, because hundreds of schools were on delay or closed. In fact, the campus of Sinclair, downtown Dayton right here, and campuses throughout the Miami Valley, even the University of Dayton had to shut down due to weather because we're in between those storm systems, as you know. Well, the real hurt came overnight when freezing rain turned parking lots, streets, and highways into skating rinks. On Sunrise, we told you about big problems at the 70-75 interchange. The eastbound side of 70 was closed at the 75 overpass because of an accident involving 2 semis. And in Trotwood overnight, we had trucks and cars sliding off roads, ending up stuck. Police say in those cases it is best to call for help and stay inside your car, not try to walk on icy roadways. Let the police do that when necessary. Now, we traveled north to Miami County as well this morning and spoke with drivers who had been on various places, and all agreed they would rather face snow than ice.
Snow, at least there's grip. Ice, there's no grip.
The back roads were pretty rough, and then the highway, I took 380 to 35, and 380 was pretty bad. 35 wasn't too bad, but it was about 45 mile an hour the whole way here.
We favored real well this morning. We anticipated it being a lot worse traffic-wise, and luckily, I think with the early warning, a lot of people took those precautions, and I'd like to encourage those precautions being taken throughout the day and into tomorrow as well.
And back out live here, you can see, yes, it is pretty to see that ice just dripping there stationary on those trees. But, you know, Sergeant Kramer warns all of us, don't have a false sense of security when you're out on the roadways today, because what might look like just a wet road could actually be an icy road. Reporting live downtown Dayton, I'm Pam Elliott, 2 News on your side.
All right, thanks so much for that report, Pam, and stay warm out there. Conditions are also icy in Darke County. Freezing rain began last night, quickly causing problems. Even our news truck got stuck for a little while overnight. Joining us on the phone, Brandon Redmond from the Darke County Sheriff's Department. Brandon?
Hi, Marsha. How are you today?
Doing fine, thank you. Pretty rough up there, huh?
Actually, things are improving a little bit. At this point, we're just in a wait-and-see mode until the next round of winter weather and freezing rain gets here this afternoon.
What is your department doing? What is happening in Darke County? Have you started salting the streets at all?
Our road crews right now are out working diligently, trying to get as much of the ice off the roadways as what we possibly can before the next set of freezing rain does get here. We are seeing some improving road conditions on state and U.S. highways. However, secondary roads and side streets are still extremely hazardous. Other than that, we're just waiting and seeing. Wait and see mode until the next round gets here this afternoon.
Now, how have you fared with accidents in your county?
Well, as people have alluded to earlier, we've also been pleasantly surprised. I think that the media has done a great job getting the information out to the public, and I think because of that, a lot of people stayed home today, and we had very few problems on roadways this morning, very few accidents and slide-offs.
All right, Brandon Redmond, we're going to check in with you a little later during this newscast. Thanks so much for keeping us updated on what's going on in Darke County.
Yeah, thanks, Marsha.
Mm-hmm.
And what we've just experienced is just round 1 of this storm system. There's another round coming late today and through the overnight. Here's Live Doppler 2X, the most powerful radar in the Miami Valley right now, tracking dry conditions for most spots, maybe a little freezing drizzle out there. And there are still a couple of areas that we're still seeing a little bit of freezing rain now coming into southern Preble County, Butler County, and even into Warren counties, dealing with just a few light showers at this time. But the main area of precipitation is still well off to the west, and that will be heading our way as we go later into the day. We can zoom out and show you exactly where it is, this major storm system. This is the upper level low, another surface low coming our way. That's all going to swing through tonight, keeping us with the chance of some mixed precipitation. You can see blizzard conditions across Kansas, Missouri, into Illinois at this hour. Mixed precipitation, even some severe weather on the southern side of this event. So as we head through the next 24 hours, we're going to see additional ice accumulation, but we already have some pretty good amounts out there, about 4/10 2/10 in Union, and in Bradford about 3/10, a quarter of an inch for most of the Miami Valley. Salina way up to the north there about 1/10 of an inch, but they've got 2 inches of snow and sleet on top of that. So some significant icing already. We're going to see more as this next round works in. Our winter storm warning continues for the Miami Valley until 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. So still another 24 plus hours with our winter weather advisories in effect. And you can see it's an all-encompassing storm. Much of the country, way from the northeastern part of the country, back through the central part of the United States into our southern states as well, dealing with this mess that will continue. So right now, some freezing drizzle, a little bit of fog here and there, temperature of 26 degrees, still slick. We'll let you know more about the timeline of the event and who's going to get what coming up in your full forecast.
All right, thanks so much, Jamie. We look forward to that. Now, the weather has caused some power outages. Dayton Power and Light crews tell 2 News there are about 700 customers without power. This monster storm that's moving across the country has already caused problems to the west. These are pictures from Fort Wayne. This is where at least 2 inches of snow have already fallen. Snow totals may exceed 1.5 feet across northern Indiana. That's according to the National Weather Service. Local authorities warn drivers to stay off area roadways. Now, the storm is causing problems over much of the country. It's expected to carve a frigid path from Colorado to New England by the end of the week, and schools and airports have been closed already. At this hour, at least half of the flights in and out of Dayton International Airport are delayed or totally canceled. Anthony Rosegen reports from Chicago, Illinois, where residents are bracing for the worst snowfall since 1967.
In places like Oklahoma City, overnight winds up to 50 miles an hour and blinding snow turned the Will Rogers Airport into a ghost town and left authorities suggesting people get around by any alternative means, including not getting around at all.
When it falls, the bottom falls out of it, there's no keeping up with it. It's just recovery at that point.
Damaging ice is forecast across a 1,500-mile swath of the country. The massive storm stretching from Texas across the midsection of the country into the northeast. Nearly half the country is under some kind of weather advisory. Schools are closed all over the Midwest, but as the storm moved in yesterday, this was the scene in Omaha, Nebraska. No vehicle was safe from sliding, not even this school bus. In southern Minnesota, 12 inches of snow has closed schools and made roads impassable. Even in Denver, the storm may not seem as unusual, but it's no less frustrating.
My arms are sore. It took a little longer than normal because of the ice.
In Chicago and points eastward, folks have been crowding into grocery stores, stocking up to hunker down.
We may potentially be dealing with a storm of historic proportions.
It's a storm that's being compared to the infamous Chicago blizzard of 1967, the worst in the city's history, and no one's taking chances. The fire department is bringing in 50 snowmobiles for firefighters to get on top of what could be 20 inches of snow by tomorrow morning.
Obviously, many flights canceled out of Chicago's O'Hare Airport right now. Southwest Airlines has canceled all of its flights upcoming out of Midway Airport, but the Dallas airport has now reopened after several hours of being closed. In Chicago, Andy Rosegen for NBC News.
The area's most experienced weather team will continue to track the storm. Stay with us on air throughout the evening and tomorrow morning beginning at 5. You can track this powerful storm on the go at WDTN.com. Sign up for breaking weather alerts. Check for airline delays. If you spot problems when the winter weather arrives, email report it at WDTN.com.